40 years is a lot of time for things to change. So I might have been a little bit over-hopeful, thinking that I could track down one of my grandmother's sketches from over 4 decades ago. Well, now it's time to head to Portage, and the weather's not looking that bad. It's only about 20 minutes away, but it turns out I was wrong. I was so wrong. Oh man, though, it's bad. So here is the sketchbook. Right here is the sketch. Right there, Portage Glacier. And I would say I would sketch it from the car, but I have fogged up everything so good, it's like impossible to see anything. Okay, so that right there should be it. The trick though is going to be trying to find out exactly where she sketched, because that's pretty far away and there's a couple clues that might help me out, like all of these trees. So I'll know I'm standing where Lou made that drawing when everything lines up, almost like a puzzle piece. But it will only take a few lines to know if I'm in the right place. Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting. I haven't even added color yet and already everything is soaked, but I don't think this is where she was, to be honest. Based on her sketch, I mean, the glacier was gone, but the trees and the mountains should remain the same. So either she used her artistic license and I wasn't gonna be able to find out where she stood, or it did line up and she had just sketched somewhere else and I was in the wrong place. But the people at the visitor center should know, so I headed there. So here's the visitor center, and they might have a better sense of where she was when she made that sketch. Also, it's warm. My grandmother came here in 1985, and so she made 1985, and she made this sketch right here. And I'm trying to make the same sketch in the same place.
At that time, there was no visitor center here, and it was over in that area.
Okay.
And that's where you were taking those pictures from.
So I was way off. She sketched this before the visitor center, or even that parking lot. So there's still a chance that it could all line up. I would just need to keep on walking down the road until it all came together, like the last piece in a puzzle. Okay, so while I'm out of the rain for just a minute, let's see what I'm looking for here. I think those trees are kind of the key. If I can find trees to the left-hand corner, then I found out where she is. Part of me was kind of wishing that she drew a map, but I guess the sketch kind of was a map, leading me on this wild adventure around parts of Portage I had never been to. I think we're getting close. You can kind of see if I just put the branches down like that. But those trees right there, that line of trees right there, that line of trees can kind of scoot over and line up with that spot where the glacier used to be. Then I found it, which is wild because I did not expect to be here today. I was so sure I knew exactly where she sketched. So we'll see. I think just a little bit further and I'm there. A lot has changed in 40 years, so I didn't expect it to line up exactly, which is why I was so surprised when it did. We're on the edge of a bridge, which is a great spot for sketching, and then these trees just happen to be right there. So it all kind of comes together. Although now comes the hard part of actually trying to make a sketch of this in this weather. Based on the trees and the mountains, there's only one place she could have stood to make this sketch, and that was right here. Almost 40 years ago, she sketched the same thing from the same place. Well, kind of the same thing. The elephant in the room was the enormous missing glacier, which had receded so much it was now out of sight around the bend. It's so cool to find the same place, but the subject is missing. I wonder if I go to Whittier, I'd be able to catch a glimpse of it. Maybe I'll give that a shot. So I headed on to go try to find that missing glacier by going through Alaska's longest tunnel. But even though it was raining and cold, the world felt just a little bit more colorful, and I was one page closer to my Grandma Lou.